There was a time when Lena felt small in a world that seemed very big. She lived in a small room with a window that watched the street. She knew the names of the people who passed by most days. She knew the sound of the bakery bell, the way the rain hit the pavement, and the slow tick of the clock on her shelf. Her life had many ordinary parts. She worked, she cooked, she talked to a few friends, and she fell asleep with thoughts that sometimes hurt. She longed to change. She wanted to be kinder to herself, braver with the people she loved, and more patient with the things that scared her. Most nights, she would whisper promises into the dark, promises that sounded strong for a moment, and then floated away by morning. She wanted a way to keep her promise. She did not want huge plans. She wanted a gentle way to grow, a soft path she could follow every day. One evening, when the sky was a soft blue, Lena found a folded note on her windowsill. The note was plain and smelled faintly of oranges and old paper. It had no name on it. When she picked it up, a small voice that felt like a breeze seemed to touch her ear. It said, "Read slowly." Lena felt a calm settle, like a warm blanket. She opened the note and read words that were simple and quiet. The message said that an angel would come to guide her, but not in the loud, dramatic way she had imagined. The angel would arrive as a pattern of small things, like the slow rhythm of rain, the soft warmth of tea, the steady glow of a candle. The note asked her to allow small changes every day. It said that the angel worked with 5 small promises, nothing more, and that the promises would become a way to grow. At first, Lena thought it was a trick of the mind. Who leaves notes like that? Who promises angels? She set the note on the shelf and did not speak of it. The next morning, she woke with the note on her mind. She tried one small thing. Before she turned on the phone, she breathed in and whispered one clear thought into the quiet room. She said, "Today I will be gentle." It felt odd and a little brave. She put the phone away and made a cup of tea slowly, giving herself time to breathe with each step. That day, she did small things with care. When a neighbor dropped a bag of apples, she helped pick them up. When she felt the urge to snap at a friend over a small misunderstanding, she paused and chose a softer word. By the end of the day, her heart felt lighter. Something small had shifted, like a pebble nudged in a river that opened a new line of flow. That night, a small light came to her window. It was not blinding. It was patient and kind. Lena opened the window and watched the light form into a gentle shape. It had no hard edges. It felt like a warm hand held in the dark. The voice she had felt before spoke again, and this time it sounded closer, like an old friend. The voice called itself an angel, and said it liked the way Lena had used her whisper. The angel told her that change was a quiet thing, built on small choices. It said it would stay close as she practiced 5 simple acts each day. Lena listened and felt both scared and hopeful. The angel did not bring thunder or strong miracles. It brought a small bowl of seeds and a tiny spoon. It said, "Plant one seed, water it, watch it, learn from it, give what you can." Lena laughed softly. She had not expected such ordinary advice. She had expected something grand. But the angel's face, if it had one, was calm. Its words were steady. Lena took the bowl and became ready to follow, one small step at a time. The first promise the angel helped Lena make was to whisper an intention each morning. The angel taught her to wake and breathe and speak one short line of purpose. The angel told Lena to make the line small and kind. Lena began with, "Today I will listen," or "Today I will show myself mercy," or "Today I will try one small, brave thing." The line was not a long speech, nor a list of demands. It was a soft direction that shaped her choices. When she whispered it, she felt like she had set a tiny compass in her chest. her feet walked more gently because her heart already had a map. This simple act taught her that days could be guided by a small light, not a loud shout. Some mornings she forgot. Other days, the whisper was clear as glass. She learned to forgive the days she forgot and to be present on the days she remembered. The second promise was to take one small action each day. The angel did not ask Lena to change her whole life in one sweep. It asked for one small deed. It told a story of a mountain built from stones. Each stone, a small act, moved into place. Lena chose small things, sensible and gentle. Make the bed, write a sentence in a private journal, walk to the corner, and breathe under the trees for 5 minutes. Call a friend and say, "I'm thinking of you." Sometimes the small action was big for her heart, like going to the doctor when anger had kept her away for months. Sometimes it was tiny and almost invisible to others, like putting clean teacups back with care. Each small action became proof to Lena that she could keep a promise. Each evening she would look back and find a quiet sense of accomplishment. It was not loud. It tasted like bread fresh from the oven, steady and warm. The third promise the angel gave was to learn something each day. The angel placed a tiny book in Lena's hands and told her to feed her mind like a garden. "One page is enough," it said. "A single thought learned today can change how you see tomorrow." Lena began to read a paragraph each day. Sometimes it was a line from a book about courage. Other times it was a small article about how neighbors started a garden together. On hard days, she listened to short talks while she walked. Learning did not mean she had to become an expert. It meant she would open her heart to new ways of thinking. She discovered that curiosity made her lighter. It made her kinder to herself because she realized everyone was learning in their own way. With each page she read, she found a new small tool to use when old habits wanted to pull her back. The fourth promise the angel taught was reflection. Each evening, Lena would sit by the window with a cup of tea and think about her day. The angel did not ask for blame or harshness. It asked for honesty with gentleness. She learned to ask herself, "What did I do well? Who did I hurt? What did I learn? What will I try again tomorrow?" Sometimes tears came like rain. Sometimes joy bubbled like laughter. Reflection was a lamp in a dark room. It showed what to keep and what to change. The angel taught Lena that reflection was a safe space to plant lessons. Holding herself with kindness during reflection was as important as the words she wrote. Most nights she would only need 5 minutes, but the 5 minutes grew into deep wisdom because she returned to them daily. The fifth promise the angel gave was to share light. The angel said that giving does not have to be grand. It can be a smile to a stranger, a note to a lonely neighbor, an hour helping someone with a small task, or sharing a thought you learned that might help another. Lena found that giving fixed her like a star in the sky. It connected her to something bigger than her small worries. She found joy when she held the hand of someone who needed a friend. She felt courage when a child smiled back at her when she helped them carry their books. Giving made her feel useful. It gave her days meaning beyond lists and worries. Even on days when she felt she had little to give, a kind word or a shared pastry could make a ripple bigger than she imagined. As Lena followed the 5 promises, life did not suddenly become perfect. The rain still poured on hard days. People still said hurtful things. Old fears opened their mouths in the night with loud words. But Lena's heart began to change in quiet ways. She noticed her anger did not last as long. Her nights did not feel as heavy. She found herself forgiving more quickly. She made mistakes, of course. She would sometimes forget to whisper an intention, or she would skip learning for a sleepy morning. She would sometimes say words she wished she had not said. The angel did not scold, it simply reminded her, "Return to your small acts." The angel's voice was patient and steady. It taught her how to hold herself when she stumbled, not with shame, but with a gentle hand and a practical way forward. One winter morning, Lena faced a day she dreaded. She had to speak to someone she loved about a truth that might change their relationship. Her palms were wet, her heart thudded like a trapped bird. She felt the heavy pull to cancel the talk and avoid the risk. The angel came to her in the hush before dawn. It did not take the fear away. It gave her a small map. It told her to whisper an intention. "I will speak with truth and kindness." It told her to do one small action first. Write down the 2 things she must say and the 2 things she must hear. It told her to learn briefly. Read a page about how to speak kindly in hard moments. It asked her to reflect after the talk and then to give. Maybe bring a small tea to share later or offer a gesture of care. Lena followed the map. The talk was not easy. There were tears on both sides. There were words that cut and words that healed. Afterward, Lena sat with the angel and reflected. She realized she had been brave in a new way. She had not run. She had held herself with truth and also with care. The small acts had not removed fear, but they had given her steps to move through it. As months passed, Lena's life wove small threads of change. She found that the steady work of 5 small promises made big things possible. Friends noticed she smiled more honestly. Her neighbor told her she had a calm presence that made the hallway feel quieter. Lena felt more trust in herself. Where once she might have stopped at the fear of trying, she now took small steps anyway. She learned that little victories stitched together into strong fabric. Her days were not perfect, but they were richer. She began to sleep more, not because the world had changed, but because she had a steady rhythm to return to. The angel walked beside her like a lamp bearer, not to carry her, but to hold the light so she could see the path. One spring day, Lena found an envelope on her doorstep. Inside was a letter from a woman she used to know long ago. The woman remembered Lena's kindness from years past and wrote that she had been inspired to start a small neighborhood garden. She wrote that Lena's quiet acts of care had mattered more than Lena had known. Lena sat down and cried. She had not seen the garden. She had not known how far the small ripples had traveled. The angel smiled in the quiet. Lena realized that small acts do not always get instant reward. Sometimes their echoes travel far and bloom in places you cannot see. That day, she felt more sure than ever that the promise of small steps was truthful. Sometimes, Lena met people who wanted quick fixes. They wanted to change everything overnight. Lena would tell them gently about the small bowl of seeds an angel had given her. Some people laughed and said she was naive. Others listened quietly. Curious, Lena learned to speak about her way like a seed seller. She would say, "I know the big dream is bright and beautiful, but try this small thing today. Whisper an intention. Do one kind action. Read a page. Think kindly about your day. Give a small kindness." Some would try it for a week. Some would return and say it felt too small. Lena would nod and say, "Small is how we build things that last." She learned to accept that not everyone would choose the same path, and that was okay. The angel taught her not to make others wrong for their choices. She learned to keep her light close and share it when people wanted it. In the evenings, when the sun turned the rooftops to gold, Lena would walk along the narrow street. She would look at windows of houses and imagine the lives inside. She would think of the times she had stumbled, and the times she had helped. She would think of the times she had been helped too. The angel would whisper reminders she had learned to keep in her pocket like a song. When you forget, return to the small step. When you stumble, return to the whisper. When you are proud, return to giving. These little lines became an inner compass. They did not weigh her down. They floated gently, like feathers that guided her direction. 1 year after she first found the note, Lena sat by the same window and opened a new letter. It read simply, "Do you remember your first whisper?" She smiled and thought about that first moment she had started to intentionally change. She thought about the 5 promises that had shaped a year. She was not perfect. She had lost patience, been small sometimes, and grown afraid of some nights. But she had also learned to be brave in small ways, to speak truth when fear pressed her mouth closed, and to give love even when she felt there was little to give. Her life was not centered on big wins. It was a line of small, steady lights. The angel had been quiet, present, and kind. It had taught her to make tiny promises and keep them. Lena now carried the bowl of seeds into the street. She helped plant a small patch near the bakery where the neighborhood children played. She invited neighbors to read a line from a book together. She created a small bench where people could sit and share simple words. The bench became a place where people left notes for each other. Sometimes, a tired mother would sit and a young man would offer to mind her child while she rested. Sometimes, an old man who had lost his wife would find a small piece of bread left by a neighbor and feel remembered. Lena realized she had become a thread in a wide, soft net of care. The angel's quiet work had spread. When she looked back on her life, Lena understood the truth the angel had shown her. You do not have to be large to change the world around you. You need only begin. Begin with a whisper. Begin with one small action. Begin with 1 page of learning and 5 minutes of reflection. Begin with a small act of giving. The angel had not promised a life without pain. Instead, it promised a faithful path to carry her through hard places. Lena learned that the path was made of tiny, repeatable steps that built strength like muscle. She also learned that each step connected her to people and to life itself. One night, many years later, Lena wrote a note and left it on a windowsill for someone else to find. It smelled faintly of oranges and old paper, just like the note she had once found. She wrote that an angel had taught her 5 small things, and that if the finder would try them, life might change in small, steady ways. She folded the paper and placed it on the sill, then sat and breathed slow. In her chest, she felt a warm, easy glow. The glow was not a loud triumph. It was the quiet satisfaction of a life lived with steady care. She had not become perfect. She had grown kinder, wiser, and more patient. She had learned to walk with fear and with joy. She had become someone who noticed the light in others and helped it grow. If you hear a small voice inside you that says you must change fast or you are failing, the angel in Lena's story would ask you to breathe. It would remind you that every great tree began as a seed. It would ask you to start with 1 whisper each morning, 1 small action each day, 1 short piece of learning, 5 minutes of evening reflection, and 1 small act of giving. The angel would not shame you for falling. It would take your hand and say, "Return to the small thing. Begin again." The angel knows that lasting strength grows slow and steady, rooted in simple faithfulness. There will be days when the small acts feel too small and the world seems to require enormous leaps. On those days, remember Lena and her bench, the garden that spread quietly, the neighbor who smiled, the child who learned to help, and the woman who left a note. Remember that small things multiply. A whisper shapes the morning. A single kind word changes a day. A page read opens a new way of thinking. A quiet reflection shows the way forward. A small gift binds hearts together. Little by little, your life will become a soft light in the world. If you are tired of waiting for a miracle, try this angel's way. Do not wait for a bolt of thunder to change you. Begin with what is near. Speak a truth into the morning. Move one small muscle toward the life you want. Read a line that teaches you something new. Sit with yourself and name the day with kindness. Give a little light to someone else. That is a miracle you can practice. The angel will walk beside you, not to carry you, but to remind you to return to your small promises. When fear whispers that small acts are pointless, the angel will show you the bench near the bakery and the garden that grew from a single seed. The angel will show you a list of small things that together make a life. The angel will smile and remind you that you do not have to be a giant right away. You only have to be present to one small thing today. A gifts you give in small pieces will become a life that matters. The voice of the angel is not loud, it is steady. It repeats the same truth in different words until your heart can learn it. So tonight, before you close your eyes, fold your hands and whisper one small intention. Let it be soft. Let it be kind. Tomorrow, do one small action. Learn one small thing. Reflect with gentle honesty. Give what you can. Repeat this until it becomes a rhythm. Live like the angel means you to, close to the small and faithful. In time, the days will stitch into a life that holds you and others in a warm light. The change will be slow, but true, like the way dawn always comes after night. The angel will remain beside you, patient, always ready to remind you of the next small thing.